And it is the news no one wants to hear. 1 year after the global pandemic was officially declared, new provincial modeling suggests COVID is not finished with this province, and variants could drive a third wave.
There is still much danger ahead. Mobility is increasing, and with that, the risk of greater spread.
The highly contagious variants make up 40% of new cases in Ontario, higher than any other province in the country. This graph projecting the next 3 weeks shows the impact they can have. The best case scenario is the green line. COVID numbers would stay just under 2,000 a day if variants are contained. The worst case is the purple line, where cases could reach 8,000 a day if restrictions are relaxed or if they aren't followed.
Members rise.
A moment of silence was held in the Ontario legislature this morning, remembering the province's more than 7,000 dead and all those impacted 1 year after the global pandemic was declared. Despite overwhelming COVID fatigue and the hope the second wave was diminishing, epidemiologist Colin Furness believes the third wave is already here and will spike in April.
I think we're in the third wave, but we're in this early tail. I mean, if you look at the epidemiology curve, it stays flat for a while, and then typically there's a big inflection where it goes up really sharply. So we're on that journey now.
As always, Furness says COVID's path depends on how many restrictions are in place.
If we move Toronto from the gray zone into the red zone, and if we ignore the fact that transmission is happening in schools now, then I think we're going to invite that steep curve.
The good news is vulnerable long-term care residents have largely been vaccinated, but the new variants are believed to be far more deadly to those who aren't. The 1 millionth vaccine was administered yesterday in Ontario, and 1 million more are expected to be in arms by the end of this month. But in the race between vaccines versus the variants, in the short term, the variants could win.
COVID is just a little bit ahead of us at the moment. The second wave of what we could call classic COVID, yes, that is diminishing. There's no question. But behind that or underneath that is a rise of, son of COVID, the variants that are better at reaching the population.
Now, Colin Furness believes a third wave would be shorter because vaccinations will be picking up steadily. The very real problem when the pandemic is finally over is the backlog in surgeries and the devastating impact on mental health. Those will be felt for a long time to come.